Without thinking, you don't speak. When you speak, speak positively, speak sweetly.
Welcome back. We're going to continue our conversation from the last one. We explored age. Now we're going to explore alertness and awake. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll dive right into the book. Alertness. Be alert, not to be prevented, nor converted to be a covert. Store the water when it rains, save the money when it comes in.
So I think the first sentence has
I'm excited about this because he said save money.
So, okay, let's focus on the first one. So first one has a kind of correction.
Oh, okay.
So let's read it again.
He said, be alert, not to be prevented.
So this prevented instead of prevented should be perverted is the right word. So be alert, not to be perverted. And then?
Nor converted to be a culvert.
Nor converted to be a culvert. I think this is very important. And when master is using the word pervert, is basically degradation of values, compromise of the values. So when we are playing the game of life, you need to be alert whether are you compromising on the values that you started with. So this is very important. And then he says, nor converted to be a culvert is basically, be alert. Do a self-review that you are not a channel for negativity. So imagine somebody says something wrong about the person and you are also trying to participate in that discussion. And you are also spreading the negativity. The time is same. Either you can invest on yourself to improve yourself or you can contribute positivity. So this is what he is saying. Be alert. What are you doing? Are you participating in a negative activity? Or be alert. Are you compromising on your values? Because sometimes what happens, you are in a team, you are in a particular environment where everyone will say it's okay. What's the problem? It's okay. We can do this. But then is the value of being alert. Don't compromise on your values.
Are you saying, for instance, if the situation is true, let's say someone comes, talking about an experience they've had with another person and that experience was a negative one. Are you saying do not agree, just be quiet?
No. A negative experience is first a symptom that something has gone wrong. So you can engage in the discussion to relieve the person from that pain. But where you have to go is you have to go at the symptom. Why the pain has arisen and how it could have been avoided. What are the options available? So helping a person by giving him an honest ear, by relieving him from the root cause is a good thing. But imagine you say something wrong about the person. I also say, I also feel, I don't think this person. So you are contributing to negativity.
So which brings us to our first episode. Please go watch.
Yes.
Which says neglect the negative with a cause of reason.
Correct.
So when that person comes to you with your issues, maybe a complaint about someone else, you don't just dive in to say, yes, I agree, that person shouldn't. You try to understand the symptom, like why that negativity may have occurred, and you try to break it down.
Let me give you two insights into it. One is discussion or hearing about negativity is not contributing or participating in gossiping activity. It is contributing or helping the person to alleviate the pain and grow in his life. Then you are hearing negativity because it's a symptom. The second insight what comes to my mind is, imagine there is a traffic light and there is no policeman, and your friends just pass through and say, we just passed through, this is our way. So you have the context, you have the environment where breaking rules is okay. But this is where you have to adhere to your values. You have to say no. Whether policeman is there or not there, I would always like to follow traffic lights. And that will help you over not today or not tomorrow, but over a longer period of time to avoid accidents, to keep people safe. Traffic lights are not for discipline, it's for our safety.
So in today's world where people are easily influenced, how do you stay true to your values without feeling like, lack of better words, like the slow person of the group, or the one who is not, doesn't belong to the group, just because with everything you're the one person who wants to say, oh, let's do it this way, let's do it this way. How do you maintain your values without doing too much, basically?
First, we have to determine our values. And there is a general rule, values to values, what I'm saying, the deeper part. The deeper part of values to values is your own heart, your conscience. What are the words you have chosen to speak? What are the expressions and emotions you have chosen to speak? Will first have an impact on yourself. Because your own heart, like imagine if I want to be angry on you, I have to be first angry. I have to experience anger. Only then I can communicate anger to you.
Oh, wow.
So, all the things that we do, those consequences we have to bear. But we have to develop a kind of awareness that if that is the behavior I expect for me, exactly that is the behavior you should give to the other person. Reciprocate in the.
Wow, I've never seen it explained that way, because using anger is a very strong emotion, right? But then when you think about what anger does to you, then you decide to say, I'm not gonna focus on that. I'd rather take the positive way out. That I've never seen it explained that way, that you first think about how that decision affects you before you put it out there in the world. This is the game of life. So it says, store the water when it rains. Save the money when it comes in. You can tell I'm very...
From the smile you can see the money. So, basically, this is about prudence. It's about resourcefulness. Like if I take the money part, it is financial prudence. Store the water when it rains. It means when you are earning good, you have to inculcate the value of saving. Because the game of life does not work as you would like it to. And everyone in the society, every person faces risk, faces difficulties when he has not imagined. Suddenly it will come. He has not planned for it. But when you have a discipline of savings, you will have something for the rainy days that you have not imagined or planned. So this is what he is saying is, be prudent in your expenditure, save a bit of it, invest a bit of it, make a kind of portfolio for yourself, your family members, because we can't calculate the rainy days.
I agree. At the same time, coming back to reality, or a country like Nigeria, it's very hard to agree, because you said two things actually. You said a time when you're earning well. When a person earns well, it's easy to say, okay, I'm going to use this portion to my daily life, expenses. I'm going to use this portion to save. But when your earnings can't even, satisfy your daily expenses, how then do you save? Somebody says in Nigeria, it's those that eat that save. Like, how do you save when you can barely,
So one thing is the rules, or the guidelines or the quotations or the poem of master applies to every person in the world. So it applies, and what you are saying is a realistic picture. So when it rains is what he is saying. If you are hand to mouth, you have no opportunity to save. But little bit, when you see a good time, the rain is more. Then what happens? People, due to lack of financial discipline, they spend it out. They want to ease their stress, that how in the past they suffered. And their past, that bias actually makes their habits of spending. And you may have seen many people who have become millionaires and then also broke after that, because the habits that you have formed have not helped you in the game of life. So in young age, if you can save little bit, it's difficult, but little bit will help. Why I say little bit? Because there is a principle of compounding effect. If a person invests, let's imagine 20,000 naira every month or 5,000 naira every month for a period of 20 years, you will be surprised with what kind of fund he will have after 20 years. So that's the compounding effect when it comes to interest calculations. It's a straightforward, whether you apply in Nigeria, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Kenya, India, US, Canada. I have traveled to most of the places. Everywhere the compounding effect will come into picture. Now this also applies not just about the money part. It also applies on enriching your talent. So imagine I am improving myself by 1%. I am carving out some part of my day for my self-improvement. Now these things, when it will compound, will help you in tough times, rainy days, will also help you to form a personality over a period of time.
Okay, let's take it back to money, because I know that a lot of questions, come up just after explaining that. How does one know what percentage to save? Whether you're earning this much or you're earning this much, how do you say, let's practicalize it? Is it 10%? Is it 5%?
So I think there are a lot of videos in YouTube, in Facebook, Google you can do. First is you have to understand your risk perception. You have to understand your stage of life. You can take more risk in young age. You can take lesser in middle and even lesser in old, where you would like to go for savings. But it is very important to focus. So there are various videos all over the world. People have said about savings. They have said like when you are at 40, what is the kind of savings you should have? So you can calculate your current expenditure, and then there are multipliers. There are economic formulas. Second is from your current earnings, you can extrapolate. So you will get a kind of target. Like, okay, 40, this should be my saving considering my current stream of inflow. Or at 60, I should have this much of money. Because you may not be so productive after 60. So there is something which will help you to sail through the game of life. I am giving you can say pointers, or I am trying to encourage your inquisitiveness to go and explore yourself and
see what works for you.
Yes.
Thank you. So we're going to go straight into Awake. If you have any questions that has to do with alertness, again, just check the link below. You're going to see our email. We're welcome to take your questions anytime. So let's move on to Awake. It says, wake, make awake, like the people I like. What is that?
Okay, so please complete the sentence. Is there anything more?
Yes. Evoke politely and delightfully. Don't provoke either violently or ardently.
So I think the great master is giving a message, but he is also writing in a poetic form.
Make awake.
Wake, make awake is like, okay, get up, try to be awake. That is the style he is writing.
Like the people I like.
Like the people I like basically is what we have covered in one of our previous discussion. Is like you would like, the treatment to yourself is what is the treatment you would like to give to others. So what treatment I expect from you is the same treatment I will give to you. It is irrespective of the background, it is irrespective of anything as a bias, irrespective of country, religion, sex, whatever.
It's treat all people the same.
The same
The
as
same
you would like to be
respect,
treated.
The same.
Yes.
It makes sense. So let's try to rewrite what he has said. So he's saying, hurry up, like people or treat people the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Evoke politely and delightfully.
So I think this is very important, that when we are talking, when we are having conversation, happiness or delightness needs to be there, and it has to be polite. It doesn't have to be, he later on covers, ardently, rudely, negatively, or to bring an excitement. Not like that. So he says politely and delightly. I remember one Sanskrit, if you want I can tell you. What he says is there in one of the scripts I read. Avicharyam na vaktavyam. Vaktavyam suvicharitam. Means without thinking you don't speak. When you speak positively, speak sweetly. Whenever you speak in this way, your speech will be successful.
I think there's something like that also in Bible. It says slow to speak, slow to anger, quick to listen.
Very nice. So,
okay, so I want to ask a question because I'm trying as much as possible to practicalize these things. So has there been any time where you've come across a situation where you've had to deal with a difficult person, whether that is at work or at home, or how have you picked these principles and sort of managed their expectation and your expectation?
we have to focus on difficulty. What is the difficulty? So the difficulty is not you are able to understand, is what we say difficult. So we need to delve deep, we need to focus.
So you're saying that you pull yourself out of the situation totally, have a different view,
and try to
understand
yes.
why is this person difficult?
Yes.
That is it.
So then you will go beyond the surface to know at the background, okay, possibly this is the reason why
they act this way. It could be trauma, it could be.
So the problem and the difficulty is not with the person, the difficulty is with us. We are not able to understand. So once we develop an understanding, then you will have a perspective of their behavior, and exactly at that point you will also have a perspective for solution.
Wow.
You can be polite, but you can be assertive also.
That makes so much sense.
That also can be ignoring the negative, which we have seen.
Thank you for saying that, because I was going to say, when some situations just come, swiftly, what do you do then? But I like that you said ignore. So that's a good alternative. You
Yes.
just slightly
But
ignore.
okay, ignore will help you because you are not allowing yourself to get a bang on your head. You have safeguarded yourself in the right way. But understanding is the key.
So basically, you don't just ignore and say, you have to understand why you're taking the decision to ignore this person or this situation.
Yes.
This is amazing.
And see, the divine, the nature gives you a lot of opportunity to learn. There may be people who say something and they meant actually the reverse. So if I say I want to go, maybe he wants to rest. Imagine. But when you have a perspective of the person, okay, I understand this person, then you will understand what is the implication of the words he's using.
So you mean dealing with people is not as easy as we think? That brings a lot of perspective, because by the time you understand that you can't know a person in a day, that means you take your time with how, with the reactions that you have towards them.
Imagine, I will give you one more thing. Imagine a person gives a sarcastic comment. Now the sarcastic comment, there can be thousands perspective to that comment. He is feeling alone, he wants to connect with you. So it's an icebreaker for him.
Right.
Then sarcastic comment can be with an intention. He really wants to give you the message. Then sarcastic comment, he becomes sarcastic only when he sees a person who is very close, like a friend. Only with deep friends he can give sarcastic comments.
Such a confusing person.
But every sentence is communicating a different idea about a person and his state. So what is important?
You have to do the deep work of understanding.
So don't focus on the comment. Try to go beyond the comment to the state of mind.
So is it okay in your process of trying to understand them? Is it okay to do the activity with them?
It is okay because it's not about that person, it's about you.
Wow.
You are communicating to that person that, see, I am fair and transparent. So I am connecting to you to understand the perspective. I am sincere to you to understand your comments. But don't expect the sincerity from him. Because sometimes he can be sincere. Maybe he's a sincere person only. Or maybe he's not a sincere person. So this may be what I am using. You will understand the person over a period of time. You can't understand in one meeting, two meetings. But if you are staying with a person, like you are staying with your parents, you are staying with your siblings, you know, okay, why this girl goes for a sugar at this time? Because she is, tensed and she's watching a football show or whatever. Or why this person orders a burger at this time? You know, because you are watching the person, you are staying with him. So the game of life, very important, is understanding. If you do a mathematics, if you bring, let's say, artificial intelligence, it will take 200 years, 250 years to understand every comment from which angle it is given.
So I think that in a nutshell, a secret to a fulfilled and purposeful life is understanding. It's been in front of us, it's just there.
Yes. And I once, when I was 18, I was sitting with my master, Sri Guru Vishnu, and I asked him that, like you said, can you approach and talk? And I also asked the same question, that without communication, with understanding itself, can you solve the issue? And you'll be surprised at his answer. He said, only by understanding. Even if you didn't speak, you can still solve the issue.
Wow.
So where is the issue? Where is the problem? The problem is in us.
It's in us.
We are not aligning the situation because we don't have a background to the output that is in front of you.
Sort of speechless now. Okay, that is amazing. It gives a lot of perspective to a lot of things, And tying back to part A, which was age, and that line that says stage of, it just gives a lot of perspective to say, sit back and understand the situation. Also understand yourself and the feelings that you get from that situation.
Without understanding, the hearing has no meaning. Understand the person. Don't understand the way, mannerisms. Don't just stick to the words and sentences. Understand why he's doing it. That understanding will help you.
I think I just want to point out that understanding, it's fine to understand if you have series of opportunities with this person, but when it's just a one-time thing, you also have to understand even if your decision is to ignore, because when you take that decision to ignore the person, you have to go back to ask yourself questions. Okay, so why did I ignore this person? What could have been the situation here?
So I'm thinking something different now.
Tell me.
Because the moment you said opportunities, I thought in my mind as limitations. And I would like to share the quote of, let's say, Albert Einstein. He says, once you know your limits, you go beyond it. So opportunity, good. What is your limitation with the engagement of the person also? If you know the limitation, because you know the person, then you will go beyond the limitation using your creativity and innovation. Know the limitation also. Once you know your limitation, okay, this person I can go do this much only, then invest that much time only with him. Don't invest a big amount to face further frustrations and problems.
Okay, so let's take the last line. It said, don't provoke either violently or ardently.
I think this is very straightforward, that do not initiate a negative discussion.
No.
Because what happens, negative invites negative and it goes out of proportion. The person is negative, he said negative, but you have built it out of proportion. Imagine he gave a negative sentence but he had a positive intention. Then you said negative, then it's a... So what this is, reduce the excitement level or sudden burst of emotions, and reduce, or at least try to contribute positivity in the environment, positive discussion.
Thank you so much. It's been an amazing episode from part A to part B. I've learned so much. I think the key word there is understanding. I think everybody's going to take that to their different situations and life in general. So thank you so much. Okay, so guys, it's the end of today's episode. It's been an amazing. Thank you for spending time with us. As usual, do not be afraid to send us emails. We're ready to answer your questions and help you through life. That's what we're here for. Remember to like, comment, share, engage, with the conversation, and see you next time. This has been good.